So today I felt inspired to talk about the importance of circle work in developing your mediumship. So back in the old days, there was usually different types of circles because people were often developing through spiritualist centers or spiritualist churches, and so you had these different public circles and you'd sort of be navigated through these different circles. So oftentimes you would start in a meditation circle where you learn to still the mind, where you learn to focus. And once you were sort of proficient in reaching that state, then you are moved into what was called an awareness circle, or sort of a psychic circle, where you're learning the mechanics and the faculties that are used to receive information through non physical means. Now, from there, you would often move into a development circle, which was sort of practical, which was sort of technical. And in these open development circles, you usually had varying degrees of development or unfoldment within the participants, excuse me. And so the benefit of something like this is you're learning to work with and navigate different types of people, different types of energy, different levels of experience. But when you're working in a circle, especially an open circle, a practice circle, say someone is at this point in their development and someone is at this point in their development, oftentimes it will, like water, it will seek its level. And so this is sort of like the main energetic states of that group. And so while there's still benefits to maybe those students who are at this point in their journey, it really helps to pull those who are less refined up a little bit. Now, because some of those mediums were maybe beyond the skill set of that particular group, they still participated because in those days there was an understanding of the importance of sitting and being an active participant in the process of other people's development. But usually what would happen at that point is those mediums would, in addition to helping to sit for other people in an open circle, would participate in closed circles. So what would happen is the medium would build a circle around themselves of people who had enough understanding of the spiritual power, the spiritual knowledge, the mechanics, but weren't necessarily seeking to develop their own mediumship and then acting as a battery for that medium sitting on a regular basis. Nowadays, we do things a little bit differently. So we still have open circles and closed circles. But with open circles, and sometimes they're in person, sometimes we see a lot today that's online, and that's perfectly okay. They're very sort of practice oriented, but oftentimes too, I do think the home circle is important as well. So if you are one of those people who are fortunate enough to have those who are willing to sit for your development, that's awesome. And that's really the focus of those types of circles, because once you're sitting with the same group of people for a long period of time, not only does a harmony build up, but you're not really focused on practice per se, because you know those people very well. It's more about building the energy for your development. But because that's a rarity these days, oftentimes mediums, after they reach a certain point where they feel proficient within the mechanics, will sit with each other to just simply sit in the power and the presence and share that energy amongst each other. And it really reminds me of the old biblical adage, where two or three gather in my name, there I am. There really is power in numbers, and it does help to quicken our development and add a layer of depth to it that we often don't get just doing one-off classes, workshops, or courses.